Hello, crafty friend. It's Justine Dvorak from Stationery by Justine, where when I craft, my world stands still. Look at this fabulous stamp. This is a new one from Pajama Crafter Stamps called Honor, Valor, Pride. And it is a great one that is very inspirational. I am going to have a lot of fun with this one here today. I'm going to stamp it out with my stamp wheel onto some masking sticker paper. And this will give me a chance to cover up my stamped area later, do some ink blending, and pull out my Copics. So if you are not familiar what a masking stencil or masking piece is, it's basically like the stickiness of the back of a Post-it note, if you've ever held a Post-it note. So the back right now has paper on it. I'm simply going to snip off the area and just follow the horizon line of this stamped image. So yes, it's cutting off the tips of the trees, but it will all make sense once I pull out my stencil. So just bear with me. Right now, nothing is sticky because it has the release tape on the back, but I'm just going to fussy cut out my horizon all the way across. The bottom does not matter because it's just simply to cover up for my stencil work. So there we have it. It's all set. I'm just loving this stamp though. It is such a good one. It has great sentiments as well. The one I'm going to use today is Honor, Valor, Pride, which is what the stamp set was made or named after. And it says courage, sacrifice, and dedication underneath. So here I am with my big landscape sentiment or stamp again, and look at that eagle. Can you even? I'm just so casually putting it on screen, but let me introduce to you this eagle. This is from the Let Freedom Ring stamps from Pajama Crafter Stamps as well. And I loved both of these, and I just had to pair them together and make kind of a abstract kind of scene, if you will. So I have my card base or my card front right here. I'm stamping directly onto it, right onto there, giving it a good press. Beautiful. I am going to stamp that out twice just so it is nice and saturated and dark. This I think was my first press with this stamp set. So I always like to press twice when I have something that is kind of dark with the trees there. So I will just clean off my stamp set. Or stamp, not whole stamp set, and we will be ready for that mask. So the reason why the mask is going on is because Copic markers is what I'm going to use for coloring the scene, and markers that are dye inks don't really like each other. And I don't want to wreck my Copic markers. I don't want any issues with my choice of inks. So that is going to cover everything up. Plus, it will give a great area for my eagle to go. Yes, I'm going to use the eagle on this card. It's going to be so cool. I promise. All right, I'm going to take my release tape or my backing off of my masking tape. I happen to be using the one from Spellbinders, and it's, like I said, it's the stickiness of a back of a Post-it note. So I'm just going to move it down so I can get my head and eyeballs right over it. And I just am putting it right over the top. So yes, you'll see those black tree tops are popping out, and that is just fine. My eagle is going to go off center on my card, right about here. This eagle is so cool. I have a whole nother card coming to the Pajama Crafter Stamps YouTube channel. So if you're interested in this eagle, and you're inspired by this video, check out the video that I will be putting on the Pajama Crafter Stamps YouTube channel later this month. Be sure to subscribe to that and you'll be able to see it. All right, this eagle is going to be silhouette, but not a black silhouette. It's going to be a white silhouette, kind of a dreamy cloud eagle. But he's like super cool as well. So he's not, not like a unicorn cloud, but a really cool, intense, happy. I don't know. I'm just really loving this eagle. I'm going to press it out 2 times with Versamark and this will give a great sticky clear ink to my project. And then Yes, a little bit of that went on the tops of my mountains, but don't worry, I have the stamp masked out, so it's not a big deal. Now I'm going for like a moody, dreamy sunset, sunrise, whatever you prefer kind of style card. So this eagle is just going to be a little bit of a shadow-ish of an eagle on the sky. So I have some clear embossing powder that will now stick to all of that gorgeous eagleness in the sticky ink. And I will simply heat emboss my eagle. So if you have never done heat embossing, it's super cool. This heat gun that I have off screen right here gets really hot and it melts all of that powder and it basically melts it like a plastic. So the clear is going to keep the white part of the card base white. So you can see how it has that nice shine to it. Really cool. Just want to make sure I hit all the areas. When I'm using the clear embossing powder, it can be a little tricky to make sure you get all the areas. So just use your light and make sure it's all there. I'm going to take off my masking and see, yes, my mountains are looking great. Just wanted to check, make sure I didn't melt anything. Nobody wants a melty mountain. At least I don't. All right, it's looking good. I'm putting the mask back on. And now I'm going to put it back on my stamp wheel. Now this is my little one. The first one was my big stamp wheel. Yes, I have two. Let's not talk about it. All right, making sure everything is nice and smooth. That heat tool did warp my paper a teeny tiny bit because I was not paying attention, and I also was not being very patient because I used my hottest setting. But if you don't want your paper to warp as much, I would use a lower setting as well. All right, I'm pulling out a stencil from my stash. This one's from Trinity Stamps. And shocker, my little stamp wheel was just too small. Feeling a little bit like Goldilocks here today. Here's my stamp wheel 2.0. Here she is. She's newish to my craft room, so she's looking real clean. And on days like this, I feel like Goldilocks. When I'm recording this, since I'm fussing with this, I'm going to do a short story time in the middle of this video, but I did some Easter egg coloring for Easter a few weeks ago, and I used a duck egg, and I had not taken out the guts from the egg, and that egg fell in my craft room. I was so sad. Not only did I have duck egg goo everywhere, ew, I also broke my egg, which I was so sad about. So fingers crossed that my husband can piece it together. Don't worry, all the duck egg was cleaned up and no ducks were hurt in the process. All right, like I said, I'm using a Trinity Stamps stencil, and this is just going to make kind of some sun rays or some light shininess. This one's super big, and I think this is the first time I used this one actually, but I did buy it a while ago. All right, I've been using Simon Hurley inks for a while now, and I've gotten to be pretty good at knowing what colors blend nicely together. And I really love this trio of colors for making bright, cheerful rainbows. I always start with yellow, firstly because it is the brightest color. And then I bring in this Prom Queen, and the yellow is Shooting Star. And then Prom Queen is the pink, and those two together, look at that stunning orange that makes. And then I grab the Clear Skies, and this is going to make a really pretty purple. I love it. So no green really, but if you wanted to bring in a green, you could. I'm going to have a lot of green on the foreground of my card, so that's where that will be. But I really love the brightness of this rainbow little trio here. To get a green, you could also blend the Clear Skies and the Shooting Star, and that would get a gorgeous kind of a limey green. So cool. All right, the stencil has been relieved of its space. Now there's a two-part to the stencil. So I'm going to position this one on top of my card, so you can see it's covering up some of the areas, and then some of the areas of the sunrise will be white. So it's just kind of a fun background. Then again, go in with yellow, rub-a-dub-dub, get that ink on there. And I don't have to worry about my scene because the tops of the trees are okay if they're yellow because they're part of the background. But my mountains are not going to get any color on them because I have that masking on there. Isn't that fun how that works? All right, getting more gorgeous red and orange with the pink and the yellow blending. And then we're going to go in with that just true pink, which is gorgeous. I love that prom queen color, is so cute. Fun fact about me, I did have a pink prom dress and I loved it. I also had a blue one. I went to prom 2 times, junior and senior year. Oh man. I had so much fun my junior year. We're going to go on a real big tangent here. This is story time as I stencil. I had such a fun time my junior year. We had a big group of friends and it was just the best time. And we went bowling after. It was just so fun. No one was hurt or anything. It was all safe and fun and just wonderful memories, I'll just say. And it was all just very friendly. So happy times. All right. To make my sky not be so dramatic and to make sure my eagle does not get lost, I have my stencil mask, or I have my mask over my mountains. My stencils are off now, and I'm going in with dry brushes or dry-ish brushes. I'm not adding any more ink. And this is just going to kind of soften up the white areas. Maybe I did add some ink. I just see my ink pads moved. Well, anyway, I'm just softening up those white rays. Yep, sure did. I added ink. I did forget that I did that. Oh, memories. How can I remember all those things, but I can't remember that I added ink? You tell me if you know. Human brain is such a mystery. Alrighty, finishing off with clear skies. How fun is this? I love an inky background. I love the eagle. And I really love this scene. I am a Minnesota girl, so we do not have mountains in Minnesota. But you always can get a good sunrise no matter where you are. And so I love creating sunrises on my cards, and bringing in little nature elements is so fun. And this one is definitely inspiring me, especially when I color. So here is the peel and reveal of my mask. Ready? Da-da-da-da. So cool. I'm going to save that for later because yes, I can reuse that. Sure can. And I am going to clean my stamp wheel because this is super new to my craft year. Wait, did I buy this in 2025? Yes, I did. I was on like a no buy for a while for 2025, but yes, I did buy this in 2025. It's new-ish. So we'll keep her clean, I suppose. Be a good little crafter. Now, for my foreground, I am Copic coloring, so we just got nice and close. I have the lids up so you can see the colors I use, and I'm just kind of creating a bit of a grassy knoll. No hobbits involved, but a little grassy area on the foreground. And then I went with the whole nod to the Purple Mountain Majesty, you know, I feel like you follow me, and did some blues and purples and green tones on the mountains and just kind of creating a little bit of shadow. The stamp is just fabulous because it has some shading on it already. And I love whenever that happens. It makes things so much easier for coloring's sake. If you are someone who is not a big colorer or colorist, however you want to say it, I definitely would recommend this one. The stamp set, the bald eagle for sure. You barely have to color anything and you're going to get amazing, not cute, maybe more like a strong eagle. But also Pajama Crafter Stamps has a golfing stamp, and it has lots of shading already done for you. So easy peasy for coloring. Now, I'm going to color the bald eagle on the card that I'm going to put on the Pajama Crafter Stamps YouTube channel. So if you want to see me color the eagle simply, be sure to subscribe to them, like I said, and you can see that video there. Now, PSA announcement, public service announcement. Did you know that your embossing powder can expire? Yeah, it sure can. Or maybe not expire, like it's not going to explode or anything, but it sure can get clumpy. What a gross word. Anyway, it can get clumpy, and I love a good white embossed sentiment with a background of a colored cardstock. It is my favorite. And so I use white embossing powder all of the time. And mine got clumpy because it was old and a lot of little dust or whatever got in it. And look at this. I just grabbed some fine embossing powder and look at how well that embossed, and all of those little pieces are stuck to just the right spots. I always do this ridiculous tapping. If only, good thing the audio is muted because it would be a lot of tapping. But this sentiment has the finest little cursive on the bottom there, and it has those bigger letters that are close together. So having a good embossing powder really helps make this sentiment just amazing, more amazing, and like shows how cool it is. I love a good font, as you know if you've watched my channel, but look at how well that heat embossed. I was just amazed right now when I was filming. Now, to make my sentiment nice and straight, I pull out my little mini trimmer. This is my tried and true for sentiment cutting. It's nice and little. It has this guard on the left, on the top of the thing, so I really press down with those two fingers and nothing moves. It's a good one. I should probably sharpen it. I've had it for a few years now. All these little maintenance things in the craft room. Do you do them? I don't know. I did end up taking a tiny bit of gel pen. This was the 50, and just fixed a teeny little problem, but really nothing was, it did heat emboss very well. All right, I'm going to cut this down because I want to layer my project. So I'm cutting it down so it's going to be an A2 card, but my project will be 5 1/4 by 4, like that. Sadly, I cut off some of the trees. A little bit sad, but I like the whole layered look. And I think black is just so bold. And if you know me, you know where I get my black paper. That is perfect for this, perfect for glimmering, is also from Pajama Crafter Stamps. So check out the link. It's fabulous. It glimmers so well. I can't get over it. There's nothing worse than getting a new glimmer set, being so excited about it, getting your machine out, waiting for it to heat up, positioning it, running it through your die cutting machine, and then it turns out all messed up. Nobody wants that. So if you like glimmering with black paper, you need that black paper. I'm not trying to be a crafty enabler, but like I said, no one wants a bad glimmer. If you're going to use your glimmer supplies, you might as well get a good result. So PSA over. What do you think about this card? I hope you love it. I am going to go ahead and add even more depth to the foreground of this card. So that part will be sped up just a little bit. But as I finished it up, let me know what you think down below. And let me know what you are going to be doing for 4th of July. I don't know. This video is going up in May, but I want to know what your 4th of July traditions are if you are an American crafter watching. I know that not everyone who watches my channel is American, and if you are not, if you're from somewhere else, you can certainly enjoy this stamp set as well, because there's mountains all over the world, obviously. And I'm pretty sure there's bald eagles all over the world. I've watched quite a few nature documentaries, so I know that this is a bit of an American themed stamp, or actually my card that I'm going to do on the Pajama Crafter Stamps is basically like screaming America, which is so fun. Yeah, but this one could be for others as well. I know at the moment, I'm pretty sure that Pajama Crafter Stamps does ship to Canada and possibly Australia. I'm not sure about that, but I know that they do ship within the US for the most part. But I don't know. If you email them, maybe they can make something work. I don't know. Never say never. Also, I never think it hurts to ask. I've gotten a lot of opportunities in my life by just asking, because the answer will always be no if you don't ask. So more life lessons from me at my ripe old age. All right. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed crafting, or maybe you've just enjoyed watch me craft. If you are a crafter and you have projects that you would like to share with others, you can go ahead and join on Facebook, the Stationery Maker group. I also have a group that Melanie Smith and I run together. I love Melanie Smith. If you haven't checked her out on YouTube, you got to check her out. We're the Better Press babes, and we better press. So if you are wanting to check that community out, you certainly can. As I mentioned, Pajama Crafter Stamps has a YouTube channel, so check that out. I'm over there all the time. Joy does a lot of lives. Joy is the owner of Pajama Crafter Stamps. It's always great to see an owner of a crafting company actually be a crafter, and Joy and Sean own the company together, and they really truly care about their customers. Sean is a veteran. It's just all around wonderful. So check out their Facebook group as well, which is the Pajama Crafter Stamps and Friends. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this chitty chatty video and have enjoyed my eagle card. Bye bye, crafty friend.